So, why do you do what you do on your YouTube channel? Where does this all come from? Where do these monologues come from within you?
Oh, well, I think I really enjoyed it. Um, it's like the most important thing in the world for me. I've been on this journey for a long time, like for 20 times. And even as a child, I think it was calling me a little bit. There was something. I remember reading a story about Jesus for the first time and crying
Oh,
because of his fate. And
mm,
I was just a child. I was born in communist family. Religion was not kind of allowed, or. So it was just a personal exploration that I somehow managed to get that book and read about it. And yeah, it was even at the time, it was something was calling me
mm.
toward this path. So yeah,
So just following that calling.
calling that calling, yes.
It's interesting. So you're saying it started in childhood with you with the Bible?
Not strictly with the Bible, but I was curious about these essential questions: who
Mm,
we are, why are we here, and what is this all about? And sometimes, at moments, it all looked unreal to me. Even at
mm,
the time, it was a strange feeling, like nothing exists. It would kind of come over me and then it would disappear. But yeah, so I can remember that experience of nothing being real, even
yeah.
in my childhood.
And is that where the journey has led you thus far? For the person that we see on the screen, is that how you would describe your point of view of this life? Is it sort of unreal?
I don't, I wouldn't say that it's unreal. I would say it is. That
Hmm.
is my experience. And all the words or labels that we may put on it don't quite describe it.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. It's a
Mm.
profound mystery, just being here,
It really is.
talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you revere the mystery? Is there like a sense of almost surrender to the mystery?
Well, I don't really think about it. It's just spontaneous life. It may come as joy in the moment or quietness or whatever appears. And I just notice a sense of gratefulness
Mm.
because I've suffered a lot in my life, especially in teenage years. I went through an addiction and I reached this bottom point, and I was often suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
So now living from this place feels quite amazing. It's just such a blessing. Like I can't, it's unbelievable to have that experience before and now.
Yeah.
So you can say it's kind of silent gratitude.
I like that. Silent gratitude. That's a good book
Yeah.
title. If you ever write a book, you should write that. I like that a
Thank you.
lot. I know it's like indescribable, right?
Mm.
This sort of silent gratitude, this kind of awareness that we're touching upon. But if one approached you, and I imagine people do, saying, "Hey, what is this thing all about? How would you describe and lead or guide someone to this
Mm.
state of awareness of the divine mystery that we find ourselves in?"
Mm. That's a very good question. I use different ways, and it's in the moment. I
Mm,
think there is this intelligence that responds to different people in different ways. And the easiest way, sometimes I just point people. The obvious thing is you exist and you are aware. And sometimes I invite them to imagine as if they're just being born now. And as a baby, you don't have language, you don't have words, you don't even know that you have a body. So you just open your eyes and the world is there, and there is this unity because there are no words to divide it. And then maybe around the age of 2, in this awareness, a thought just appears, thought I, and then thought you, and then it's like thousands of other words, and then the separation, the seeming separation starts, this journey of separate life and suffering, and then searching for something in the apparent external world.
Yeah.
And all the while, we are always that baby. That's this basic ground of being, just that awareness. What else? So that is one way that I just described.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. We're all the baby. We just got we put up our defenses. We got like this armor on. We grow almost. It seems like we grow out of the babiness, but every single person here was a baby at one time, and that essence of baby-like spirit is still within us.
Yes, that openness. Yes.
Openness, yeah. Innocence, openness, wonder, mystery. So that's kind of the essence, right? Is to touch upon that, see if one can touch upon that in one's daily life and bring that into the world. Not in like a sense of like immaturity, where you're it's a sense of wonder, the sense of like you said, everything is new. And that's what it seems like when you see a baby, they're just wide-eyed and whoa, this is crazy, right? And it is crazy when you sit down and think about, I'm here, you're there, the listeners wherever they are, but we're all just like, we're in this thing together. Whatever this is, this thing we call life, it's like we're here in this magnificent moment. And there is so much to be grateful for, and there is so much to just revere, and just so much to be just enamored by, right? Just everything is really just amazing, just to be simply here. But all you have to like be able to just step back, get out of the narratives, get out of one's mind in order to reach that awareness. There's like I know there's nothing you have to do, right? We can say that, we can come to that conclusion. That's essentially what one can find, is the only thing that you have to do is nothing at all. But it almost seems like at first you have to do something in order to realize that there's nothing to do. If that makes sense, if anybody followed me on that, because we, like you said, we're searching for something. Like, we're every human being is searching for peace or happiness in one way or the other, right? We just don't know how to go about it. We're searching for it on the outside world through like, wanting to be cool and popular and have money, or, look attractive, whatever it is. Like we're all looking for this outward validation, but truly that validation is always within us, no matter where we are, and it doesn't come from anywhere of the five senses or the outside world. It's literally always right here, right now. But it seems like we have to go through that kind of hamster wheel of trying to find it first in order to find that it's a battle that can't be won, in a way. And the only way you win is you surrender, in a way, and you just surrender to the wonder in the moment of what is right here and right now. It's a weird peculiarity that's kind of ironic, that I find it's almost like the only thing we can become enlightened to is that there is no so-called enlightenment journey. At least that's what I find. And I think other people can attest to that as well.
Yeah, that is true in my experience, because what else can we be but this awareness that has always been here, since the beginning. And we never experience a moment of not being aware. And so there is just these thoughts that seemingly cloud the fact, but even awareness is aware of thoughts. That's just, so you're always what you are. There is nowhere to go, nothing to search. And I think life is just reminding us with this pain, when you look for something outside and you get disappointed, people reject you. And it's like, it's a reminder, like you've been looking outside of yourself. And you are whole. Look
Yeah.
within.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Mm-hmm.
then, as you said, it is a miracle just to be here. This is, a miracle. How come? We don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to know either. I feel like if I, not that it's possible, but if I could know everything, I almost would feel like I'd be, no, I don't want that. I'm all set with knowing this everything. I almost like revere the futility of the human condition. You know what I mean by that? Like
Hmm.
I enjoy the struggle in a way. I enjoy the confusion and chaos in a way. Sorta. Like I don't know how to explain that. Like I enjoy the many layers to this wholeness, if that makes sense. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
all part of the journey. And I think sometimes people are not aware actually that they are enjoying a little bit of their suffering in this masochistic way. It's like,
Yeah.
poor me, I'm the victim. Oh, I'm going to kill myself. It's all ego, it's wallowing in its suffering. And it's like, and it's strange when you look back and see, you think the world has caused my suffering. It was something external. And then you see, no, all the time I was alone with my thoughts. And all the suffering was self imposed. It is a bit strange.
Yeah. Yeah, it is strange. Because I think we'd rather feel something than nothing at all. So it is masochistic in a way. It's a way for us to just like, it's a way for our consciousness to have a little bit of drama, like a little bit of a show, a little bit of a play, a little bit of a game, just something to do here, I guess. I mean, that's a story, age old story, is that, God became human because he got a little lonely, got a little bored in that wholeness, that oneness. So created himself in this multitude of different points of consciousness, this sort of infinity, infinity separated into billions of different points of itself, almost like holographic in a way. And that's what a human being is. And in that wholeness is encompassed a sense of not wholeness. Like in order to complete the wholeness is a sense of separation in that wholeness. And that's what a human being is. And in that separation is our stories that we create. It's the narratives and the models that we present ourselves. But it's really just, at the end of the day, it's just that one consciousness that pervades us all, sort of playing a game. It seems like it's sort of just like, I guess, having some fun here, man. I know that sounds a little weird to say because there's a lot of darkness and suffering in this world, but um, with the right perspective and the right awareness of the whole, like the whole thing that's playing out, it seems as though this is just some kind of, it's just like God's play, just playing out for some reason, like just a giant cause and effectness. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. You know what I'm saying, though? It's just, I don't know. It seems for fun. It seems just for like
Well,
enjoyment.
I honestly don't know. And, it's like we can come up with different theories about it. And sometimes I thought, well, none of us would come here just being whole. It's like there is no reason. Wholeness is whole. So the question why is just because, and it is what it is, without concepts and ideas, life is just happening. It is just what is here now. There is no past, there is no future. So it's that leave us kind of bottomless.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And when we,
nothing to hold on to. It's like no theory. It's just this.
there's really no theory. Yeah, there really is no theory. Any explanation that one could try to discern this reality at the whole level, it never adds up. It really never adds up. It's just really just like you said, there's no future, there is no past, there just is the here and the now. It's right now, this current moment that's playing out. Yeah.
And not paradoxically, because
Not
it's
parrot.
like
What do you mean?
well, how can I say, awareness is aware. It's not even aware of something, because that would imply separation. Awareness doesn't know anything. It's just here. Mind is the one that knows,
Yeah.
Mind is the one that appears in awareness and then can tell stuff. But at this ground level, there is nothing happening. It's just this beingness.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that you said there's nothing happening? Could you also describe that as there's everything happening?
Yeah,
Is
I
that the
guess
same thing?
it's the same. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting. I guess it's just like it's just a view of how, yeah, because if everything is everything, then that means there's nothing in that everything, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's peculiar. But yeah, with that almost like taking a step back from the mind, that awareness, that's the constant that I guess we're looking for, that I touched upon earlier. Like that constant yearning for peace, that is that awareness that we all have, all 7 billion of us. That sense of I amness, I am that I am, or I am notness, whatever way you want to look at it, whatever side of the coin you want to look at it. But that is that sense of like, it's almost like a sense of immortality, It's almost like a sense of invulnerability to all phenomena, whatever happens in this movie of life. I find as though that it's like a sense of um it's just like a sense, yeah, it's an invulnerability. It's a sense of just being able to just view it. Just view it. Whatever happens, happens. It'll all pass. Whatever the mind wants to cling to, just know that it's all just going to pass in time. Everything is temporary here. I guess that's what I can also say to that, is that everything, all phenomena is temporary here, including our identities, whatever model that we want to put up of our life. That I'm Gary, you're Goga, the listener is the listener, and you have your story in your life and your family and the things you like to do and the things just we have the idea of who we are. That's all going to come to pass eventually. Eventually that's going to come to pass. That's okay. But I think the important thing is to know is that that's not the end goal. Whatever model and story the mind wants to attach itself to, is that's not the end goal per se. It's definitely, there's going to be phenomena that pops up, but that's not it. It per se is it, like literally right here, right now. All the phenomena that pops up, it comes and goes, but that it is a constant. It's a constant beyond, before our birth, after our death, and here. That is the constant in all of our lives, something that we can kind of all relate to in a way, and all feel that within us. Like there's a sense of similarity in that, right? That itness, that here and nowness is almost like that's our true self in a way, right? Would you describe that as sort of the true self that's beyond all phenomena?
Yes, beyond and inclusive of all phenomena,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
nothing is included.
Yeah.
And, once from this perspective, you really see that there is no better or worse. You are just having an experience of life. That's it. And it's perfect as you are. And you even see, life is perfect for everybody, even though it may not seem that way. But it's like I always compare it to a plant growing, and it is developing, and at every stage is perfect.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's just so juicy what is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, even though looking back, from that perspective, there was suffering. From this perspective, it's like that was just this juicy life, what is perfect, at that point. So what we are is always this, and in this, anything can happen, as you said, and it is true. Maybe after awakening, your perspective changes, so things are not anymore happening to you. They are happening in you. So any kind of pain, any kind of thought is just another It's just arising in the moment and dissolving back in it.
Yeah.
So that's that inner vulnerability, discovering this rock solid awareness that just allows for any kind of expression. So it's like you see everything is okay. I can cry on the floor. I can be afraid. I can tremble. I can be really open to whatever wants to come out. No problem. And I think that's this basic mechanism of suffering and duality, wanting to avoid something and wanting to cling towards something else. And in this, it's just all that game is kind of seen and perceived. And it is happening in wholeness. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. It's all perfect, man. It's all perfect.
And yet the search can continue. It's funny, you know. So it's like, I remember when I first had awakening when I was 27, and I entered some kind of state of bliss, and it lasted maybe for 7 days, and it was just now, and there was no me, no others. It was just, it's hard to describe even. But in that state, like, I guess it was too soon or not too soon. It was right to happen, but not to stay. Because in that state, this small me cannot exist. It's so sharp. It's just so sharp that the small me only can exist in time and in this little dream.
Yeah.
So something almost started screaming like, I want to get out of this. I want to get out of this moment now. And the ordinary consciousness did come back, but there was this awareness that there is nothing really to find, that's always what is, just this moment now. There is nothing else. And then even knowing that there is nothing to find, the search continued, because there is something still, like in the body, there is this energy of separation. It's embodied, like this body pain, fear. It lives on, I think, almost on the cellular level, and that needs to be exposed in the light of awareness for everything kind of to, because mind tends to identify with any sort of tightness. It's like, I am that separate tightness. It really feels like you're separate from the world. So the search continues still. There is this waking up. No, I'm not that. This is just appearing in this till it's just resolved.
Yeah. Resolved. Yeah.
It melts away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You melt into the moment. Mm-hmm. What led to this awakening at 27? Is there anything, any practice? Like, was there, were you meditating, or what was the situation? Could you get into that?
It's so funny. I wasn't even, at the time, I wasn't a big meditator. I started practicing presence a little bit, and I was just reading different kind of books, but it wasn't really serious. Like some people meditate for hours per day, or I was just sitting outside in a cafe and reading Eckhart Tolle's book, Power Now. It was my second time to read it. And then in one moment, I just stopped, and a thought started questioning itself. A thought came and said, what do you think you're looking? What do you think you will find? Every time you just find what is, you find yourself searching. That's what you find.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, something happened, like, yeah, I'm finding myself searching. That's what I find. Then I'm finding myself reading. Then I'm finding myself doing this. That's what I always find. There is nothing else to find. So that kind of somehow just caused that entering in this just now. There is nothing now.
Wow. Yeah, interesting. It's like you it's like break the fourth wall on life. Kind of like, it's like two mirrors reflecting upon each other, and you just had to like rotate one of the mirrors into itself a little bit, if that makes sense. If people are kind of getting that image, you kind of like rotated one mirror and it's like you're looking at yourself looking in a way. You're thinking about yourself thinking. And that, I guess, it seems is like almost short circuit your computer and your brain, and I don't know, led to this sort of awakening. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very strange at the time.
I can imagine. Yeah. So how would you describe how that newfound sense of self or non-self leads one to a sense of less suffering? Like, how does that negate suffering in one's life?
Well, I've been using the work of Byron Katie a lot as a tool for resolving suffering and stressful thoughts. And I like her philosophy. It's very simple. She doesn't talk much about the enlightenment and awakening. She just says, the most important thing is, are you happy? Are you at peace? And if not, you can just take a look at your thoughts, because that's what's the cause of our suffering. We are believing something in the moment. So it's like once you start doing that practice, it's like you install a new program in your brain, and then it just operates, and it just kind of deleting these old beliefs. Like it's like self-annihilating program,
Yeah.
And so that helped a lot, just seeing the reality more clearly without putting this filter of my beliefs onto it. So it's like you clean this dirt on the objective, and then you see everything as is. That's it. It was very simple. And I guess I say when we are ripe, appropriate teacher or method appears. So I don't claim that it works for everybody. It's just you have to have this particular maybe mind, body, how can you say, look or disposition. That would be a good word.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So if that rings, like if it works for some people, it can really be like a highway to peace. Because even before using the work of Byron Katie, I worked on myself, but it would take me a lot of time to figure things out. Like, why is this happening, this pattern? But in this way, you can just write these thoughts down and, question them and turn them around. And then just kind of in this understanding, they disappear. It's like you break the spell of hypnosis, because that's what it is. Since the early ages, we've been programmed to believe this and that, and we don't even know that we believe these things, and till we're triggered or we're suffering, and then it's like, okay, I can take a look at that. So it's like you no longer believe in Santa Claus once you're told. And in this way, you no longer believe in different other things, that society shouldn't be corrupt, for example, because it should, that people shouldn't lie, because we all lie. And it's like that, you just kind of meet reality as it is. You meet reality once you kind of open your mind to it. And just, for me, it's about that, just meeting what is with clarity.
And there's less resistance to whatever pops up. There's less inertia, and I guess you could say go with the flow more.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just you become transparent. And it's not to say that everything what happens is all right to happen, and it has to happen, and there is no, really, it sounds like a cliche, but there is no mistake. Everybody's exactly where they should be, where they can be. Because if somebody told me maybe, 30 years ago or 20 years ago about some of these things, I would be scared like hell, if somebody says you don't exist. So it's like, it takes some maturity for everything. And, it's okay wherever somebody is, it's just fine. And I think wisdom is also seeing that resistance is also something that is just perceived in awareness. So it's always about taking a step back and seeing, okay, it's not me who is resisting, it's resistance appearing, the sensation of it. And even when you remove the labels, all the labels, what remains is just mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, removing these labels from experiences is another way to just kind of experience that wholeness that is always here. As I said in the beginning with this baby exercise, it's like right now, if we just remove labels from any kind of so-called internal or external, it's just what is.
It's just
Yeah, there's this expansiveness, and it's like.
Mm-hmm. Would you also say within this awe is a sense of, for lack of a better word, is a sense of love? There's a sense of love in the moment.
Yes, and it's not this human love which is conditional. Human love is, I love you till you do what I say, till you agree with me. That's the human love. This is just all-inclusive awareness that, I like when in the Bible they say everybody's equal in front of God, and for me that's just this. It's all included, whether it's a saint or so-called a sinner, or it's just open acceptance without anybody even accepting anything. It's just everything is already accepted.
Yeah. There's no conditions. There's no conditions in front of God. I like that. So would you say God is love?
Well, I don't know. It's like that's another concept, and I have to be honest. I don't know what God is. It's just there is just this experience, and it is all inclusive. It includes the whole world. It doesn't judge. It doesn't blame. I love in the Course of Miracles how, I don't know if you read that book, but a little bit, how it keeps repeating, Son of God is innocent, Son of God is innocent. And when they say Son, they mean the whole of humanity. And it's like, in this moment now, without story, as they call it, holy instant, it's all gone, it's all gone, it's all gone, it's all gone.
Yeah. The holy instant?
Yeah, that's what they call it in the Course in Miracles, that book.
I like that. It's the holy instant. Yeah. Wow. This is a good one. Yeah. Oftentimes I'm left speechless in these talks because there's nothing much else to say. Sometimes you just gotta breathe, let it in, notice, become aware. Isn't it ironic, right? Because we can come to that conclusion, me and you. Like, yeah, there's no label, there's nothing that we can really say that can accurately describe what we're trying to say. Yet we still talk. Yep, here we are. I'm on the microphone in front of the camera, and you're doing the same thing, right? Don't you find that like a sort of there's a sort of comedy to that, right? In this kind of human condition and the stuff that we do online, like, don't you find it almost like this this ironic cosmic joke?
I guess it's just it's beyond our control, even what is happening.
Yeah.
We think we have control whether we talk or what to talk. It's just all life doing it, universe doing it. This is, two of us are just the evolution of humanity sitting here, and evolution of human consciousness, and life is expressing itself in this way.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's not in our control.
Yeah.
We weren't asked whether we come. It's like whether I'm going to come here or not. I always say, everything is given. Your body is given to you. You didn't have to do anything for it, and the mind was given to you. and all these beliefs, and it's like it's just a given. And even this life is just a given. A thought comes, a word comes, a sensation comes, a decision comes, and it's all just flowing spontaneously for everybody, whether they are aware of it or not. Some people think I'm putting a lot of effort in this, but that effort is also just coming spontaneously.
Yeah.
They just have that disposition, they have a lot of energy maybe, and so it's yeah. So when Jesus is like everybody's forgiven, of course, because there is no control. It's like God manifest in this world, and there is nobody in control of it. It's just flowing spontaneously. So who's going to be the guilty? How can I be guilty if I got this particular mind or mind of a killer? Is it my fault that I got that mind, that my parents were like that the society was like that around me, that kids bullied me? I don't know. I'm just,
Yeah. Yeah, and that way we're all innocent beings. It's interesting. Yeah. You referenced the Bible a lot in this conversation. Do you find that, like, did you read it before this so-called awakening and then look at it a little bit differently after?
Yeah, I had church phase. I called it a church phase. But I think at the time the church phase was out of fear. I was simply afraid of God, and I was trying to manipulate it by going to church, and it's like save myself. So I read the Bible always, especially the New Testament. But then the fear of God disappeared, and I knew that somehow I discovered my deeper wholeness, self-acceptance, and then there was no place in my world anymore for this judgmental, harsh God that our church tends to, like there are these threats with hell and eternal damnation and things like that. So that anymore didn't ring true for me, so I left it. But yeah, I find the Jesus message transformed for me, and from different levels of awareness, there were different levels of understanding. So I read the Adyashanti's book called Resurrecting Jesus. I would warmly recommend that book to anybody listening to this interview, and I think it's it's his interpretation, but it's a really beautiful interpretation of Jesus's life as the path of awakening, or what happens on this awakening journey. So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I've actually never heard of that book, but I'm definitely gonna check that out. Interesting. Yeah. Jesus' message was essentially what we're kind of getting at now. At least that's what it seems to me. He was just not saying like bow down to me as an idol. It's like bow down to that inward idol that we all have. We are all the one. It seems.
Yeah, and Jesus is seen simply as a man who awakened to his divinity. That spark that we all have and that we all are. So in that light, he's not special, he's not above us. He just said, I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the light, isn't it? Something like that. And so we all are. And it's like every human being is the way. They are doing the best they can. That's it.
And forgive.
And forgive.
It's so important.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. And the kingdom of heaven is within.
Exactly. He keeps saying that the kingdom of heaven is everywhere. It's spread upon this world and people don't see it, and it's inside and it's right now. So I'm not sure why the church kind of interpreted that as the kingdom is of heaven is when you die and you deserve it.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's just human manipulation over thousands and
Yeah,
thousands
yeah,
of
yeah,
years. Human nature right there, just taking control.
yeah.
That's yeah, that's a little bit evil to be honest with you. But that's part of the game. That's
I
part of the
guess that's, and I feel like the church has its purpose too, because I had another phase that I was like being angry with the church and,
yeah.
being against it. But then I see it as sort of testing period, people seem to need it for some time as sort of something to hold on to, it's like some kind of
Yeah.
safety blanket. And
Mhm.
then it shows your kind of development once you're ready to let go and just stand on your own naked in front of life. There is no big daddy to, like it's just maturity, just this
Yeah.
soberness. So I think people need it, so it's there. And once human consciousness changes, that things may change too in that regard, or church may transform, who knows?
I think church is transforming right now.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
really in the sense of like the classic Catholicism
Mm.
that's staying, but there's new churches that are being brought about in today's world that might even last thousands of years, just like the classical church. It's a pretty wild time to be alive. It's a pretty cool thing to witness, like this whole newfound sense of faith that is coming about in our human civilization at this point. Yeah, interesting times, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah, and especially with this non-dual movement and
Yeah,
internet, and that's another so-called non-church
yeah,
taking over and spreading.
yeah. It's the church of no church.
Yes, yes, exactly.
It's the dogma of no dogma.
It's a liberation from everything. I think that's what Jesus actually wanted,
Yeah.
uh, just this liberation of
Mm-hmm.
human beings and out of love,
Mm-hmm.
but we humans, we needed our little rituals, and that became important, like the traditions, that became important. So it's like we really believe that there is Christmas. We really believe that there is,
Yeah, right.
and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
resurrection is in every moment. It's like in every moment you're
Yeah.
being created by something is maintaining this life, and what that is, I don't know. It's a mystery, but
Yeah.
I know it's a mini resurrection.
Mm. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a constant rebirth.
Yeah.
Death and rebirth every moment. It's ironic though because it's not even like that is one. That death and rebirth is one. Like the moment becomes new. It's hard to explain. Like there is no death and rebirth because that implies a duality right there. It actually is that becomes one. That's
Yes.
the moment. That is
Yes.
truly in the moment. Yeah. There's really no words for that. Yeah, I guess I don't even know. Yeah, there's no words other than the moment. But in that is liberation. And what more do you want than that? Oh man. This is a good talk. This is a good convo. I like this one. Um I don't really know what else to say to be honest with you. Do you have any last words? I think we can probably start to wrap this up. You got any last message for humanity?
My last words.
Yeah, no, not like that. Last words for the podcast, not in life.
Let's see if anything comes. It's just you are loved as you are. I think it's important for people. Maybe it's important, maybe it's not. I don't even know. But yeah, just right now, the way you are, you're loved and accepted, and something in you accepts and loves you. It's this
Mm,
internal light, internal awareness that accepts every thought, every emotion, everything.
mm,
So maybe last message for people: let it be love.
mm. Yeah, amen to that. Mm. I don't know what else to say. We'll keep it at that.
Yeah.
Live in love. Love is the way. Well, yeah, appreciate your time. Appreciate your effort, wisdom, everything that you brought here, your presence. I'll link everything down in the description for anybody that has listened this long. Yeah, thank you. Wish you all the best. Keep doing your thing, and one love.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you.
Of course. Peace out,
Bye.
everybody.